Hello and welcome, BitMonger family. Monger here. Hope you guys are all doing well. And today we'll be looking at Bitcoin price. There's been a small little dump. I suspect that this is a buying the dip opportunity. So later in today's video that I'll be going into soon, we'll be looking at fib levels that you might want to be looking at. And some other interesting news. I am still bullish. Considering a bull market, whenever we get any sort of good dips, considering that a good buying opportunity. You should always have a certain amount of your portfolio sitting in cash. I like to keep mine around 15 to 20%, but that can vary depending on, how much money you have and your risk profile, this type of stuff. So, but you always want to have some cash on hand to buy the dip, okay? Especially when we are in a raging bull and it's about to get pretty crazy, I suspect. In the next 6 months, I think we're going to see some huge moves. And yeah, so I'm going to give you guys little tips. Well, with a little bit of this. Boom. Dead man's fingers. It's the coconut rum. Just a couple drips of that in your morning coffee. Boom. Now you got a nice coconut flavored coffee. Let's check out the fish. Hope you're all doing well, and see you soon. All right, BitMonger family. So quick look at the markets here. We can see that the market is down nearly 6% in the past 24 hours, and that's to be expected, guys. Nothing goes up in a straight line, so volatility, and there'll probably be more volatility becoming greater as we move forward into the cycle. We do get violent swings, but remember, the last leg of the cycle is usually the most profitable, especially in altcoins. That's where you can see up to 80% of gains within this last leg. So it's important to be keeping an eye on it and have your positions in place, and to be monitoring fib levels on where you might want to be adding if you don't have positions, or if you feel underexposed, where you might want to be adding. So quick look at this. We got Bitcoin currently trading at just under 118K. Ethereum's trading at just under 3,800. XRP is at 313. BNB is at 626. Solana is at 183. All right, so yeah, we've got in a downturn. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance to see what's going on there. And as we can see here, it did fall off a cliff and it bounced a little bit. This is where we're looking at the weekly chart here, and it's just hanging out right around this level, right around roughly 60%, 61% currently. And I expect that if this starts to drop under this level here, I suspect that we will see altcoins absolutely rip. And we need to, like I said before, we need to be looking at Ethereum to see what's happening in terms of possible altcoins ripping. So let's look at Bitcoin's price then here. First, price action. So again, this is on the weekly. You can see that. Let me move this to the daily. Reset this chart. Okay, so there we have it. So we can see, as I mentioned before, guys, it's just right now it looks to be in an accumulation phase where it's being accumulated, consolidation right in here between around 116 and 120. We did see it dip down before to like around just a little under 115, but that wick, it just snapped back up. So if you're looking to add to your positions, you know, if you don't have exposure, you might want to be nibbling here like around 115, and again down here like around 113. I think those two areas would be good to nibble. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is looking really strong, guys. It has been really holding up well. And as we can see right here, it is just tapping out here at this level. And let's look at this on the weekly. This is what I wanted to look on the weekly. So if we look on the weekly chart, we can see, especially if I zoom out here. Let's take a look at this. So we can see, ever since all the way back here in 2021, it has been, here's the long-term trend line coming down. It is just touching it right there, guys. Right around 3,960. If it breaks this level, I suspect it will probably break it. Maybe it will come back down and touch it, and then we could go off to the races. That's when we would see Bitcoin dominance dropping further and ETH pushing up, and with it our altcoins. So something to be looking at right there. Again, if we see a pullback in ETH, since it has wicked up a little bit higher, these fib levels have moved up a bit. Currently down here, it looks to be a buy, like nibble on the 0.23 at right around 3,500, call it. The next level would be around 3,241. So those are areas that I would be looking to nibble on Ethereum if I didn't have exposure to this asset class, this asset. Let's look at Sol. How's Sol doing? Let's move it to the daily. Move this up. Okay, so we can see Sol still holding up pretty well. It did get down and just exactly touch the 0.38, and that's like right around 183. So this is a good area to be nibbling at. Now I would also have some orders set down here on the 0.5, and that's at like around 175, 176, you know. But good for nibbling here. I do think Solana is going to absolutely rip as we go forward. As long as the bull market stays intact, I think you know, look at my other videos, see my thesis on Solana. So yeah, going into August, we could see some extreme volatility. It talks about it here. It says it's bullish. August, VIX is bullish. August seasonality points to big price swings. Now just remember, this goes both ways, guys. So keep that in mind. But it's looking bullish. Okay. So this talks about that. I already kind of mentioned it earlier at the start of the video, but just keep that in mind. Good to have positions. It's important to have skin in the market, because we don't know what's going to happen. Things could change quickly, and you need to have some cash on hand. Take a look at this boy right here. Oh yeah. Oh, say hey, fat pug boy. Yeah, look at that guy. Yeah. All right. So, good to have some skin in the game. Let's look at this one. This is interesting. So, this is the block. And the daily Bitcoin and altcoin treasury surge. PayPal rolls out pay with crypto. SEC delays Truth Social Bitcoin ETF and more. So this is a big deal. Right now there is a ton of Bitcoin treasuries that have been surging, and we're also getting altcoins that are now starting they're taking the same playbook. So we have Joseph Lubin's backed Sharplink Gaming. They've added 77,210 ETH, worth roughly $295 million to its treasury, according to on-chain data, and that's for Ethereum. Then we have this new one, ticker. It's called Vape, and it surged 600% after announcing a $500 million financing deal to build the largest publicly traded BNB treasury in the U.S. So BNB, that's Binance, that's the Binance coin, the Binance chain, the Binance exchange, and they are the largest crypto exchange, hands down. So this is interesting, and that one actually we can see. Look at that. I mean, it surged 600%. There's demand for these guys. And then it talks about PayPal, pay with crypto. Well, okay. I think right now most people don't want to give up their Bitcoin. The idea of paying with Bitcoin to me right now at this stage doesn't make sense. It's a store of value. People aren't going to want to give that up. Okay. If they're using stable coins, that makes sense. Makes good sense to me. And just so you guys know, PayPal is using Solana as their blockchain for stablecoins. So interesting points there. And just so you guys know, Solana also has treasury companies. It's got 7 of them currently, which is, this is on the rise too, guys. This also makes me bullish on Solana. So interesting. The market's moving forward. It's becoming definitely more embraced. And I think these treasury companies are going to continue to proliferate on these larger coins. Now, do I think that's a good thing? I think it's problematic, and I think that could be probably one of the things that is the bubble in this market, potentially, of, too many of these corporates putting down shit coins into their treasury and then leveraging them and getting overweight and then having to sell those off due to, a downturn in price. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's also take a quick look at Tesla, see what's going on with Tesla. Stocks. Okay, so we can see Tesla is currently trading at 325. It had that announcement on earnings, and we saw that it had a slight drop there, but it bounced right back after that. It's looking pretty good. So currently, based off of this trend here, okay, so I'm taking it all the way back down here to the bottom of April, where we had Liberation Day, and we can also see here from last October, from when that had that massive pump. So I'm using this as the bottom line here for my fib levels, and we are currently trading right at the golden pocket, which is, we're just above it. The golden pocket is sitting like around 317. So if it gets down there, probably a good time to acquire. I do believe it's going to be going up in the years to come. Remember, this is a long-term hold. Another really good juicy area. You can see where it just perfectly hit these fib lines and just bounced off of it. And that's like at right around $273. If it gets down there, well, then I would be adding to my bags. Even though I've already built it many years ago, I'm still bullish on this, and I'm looking to buy dips going forward, because I do believe the future is very bright. Let's also take a look at Master, and this is MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor. If you're not aware of this guy, look him up. He's a massive player. He's the guy who started the whole Bitcoin treasury aspect, and all these other people have followed him. And we can see that it absolutely ripped, and it is coming back down. And if I were to look to get a position, I'd probably look down here on the, it's currently trading right at the 0.5 at 40 right around 405, and currently the price is at 403. You know, you might want to wait on it. I would look to buy, to nibble on this thing if it gets down to about 396, 395. That's the golden pocket on this move up. So that's a 0.618 retracement. And that's usually where it often will come down to. And we can see, based on the history of this chart, it seems to consolidate slightly. This is on the daily, but we can see it has hit this range numerous times. It topped out or was at a point here in which it stalled. So I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down to this level in the future. And that would be a good place to enter if you don't have a position. All right, guys, there you have it. Hope you're all doing well, and monger on.